Hi, my name is Suroja Angri. I am um, talking from Gokak, Karnataka, India. The topic of my subject is kind of targeted individuals, or it's more like a uh, tortured individuals, how the torturing is going on internationally, who are doing it, why they're doing it, what are their achievements, how they're doing it, how many people they are affecting, what are the ways they go about it, and who are supporting them really. So those are the things I'm going to be talking. But today I'm going to be focusing on the immediate effects in a day, in immediate effects, meaning in a day, what are the things that they damage me physically. So this is what I'm going to be talking. Today is April 15th, 2019. I'm again calling or talking from Gokak, Karnataka, India. I was in US for some time and I got attacked heavily in January of 2019 in the neighborhood, and so I was scooped over to India. Even then, the perpetrators have followed me, even in the plane or on the ground, in the train, wherever, even at home. So they use these invisible spectra energy. They have local hit hire perps who do their jobs, and then they use the satellites as well, and they use the bio stuff, bioweaponry. They use chemicals. They have this new kind of technology, meaning the physics that they use is a little bit more advanced than what we know, at least in our country. So this is a war level of you know technology. So folks who think that this is like a delusional, or well, why, how, I don't buy it, so they can take a hike. So I do have physics background, degree in it, and then I have a medical background, then I have IT and other project management background. So I'm able to put things together. So today's intention is to list out a number of things that they damage to my body, and then how they do it. In other words, these radiations that they use, obviously you know that sunlight has visible rays and invisible rays, for example UV light, that affect you without you knowing, and things like that. And many of those rays can pass through any of the earthly material. That means the walls and the wood and the blah blah blah, they pass through. Say for example, this laser, if I'm out on the street, a person can be like a mile away straight, and then he could be pointing his little pen kind of a device into my eyes, where I would be my eyes would be hurt. And this is how they are damaging our being. That when I'm out there, I shouldn't be like very outstanding person, and that we should be hiding, we should be covering our body, because they do the microwave kind of a baking to our bodies. The lasers to our eyes were kind of a itching crap to our crotches, and all those kind of things that they do. So I'm going to focus on the immediate things in a night or in a day, continuously, routinely, what I'm going through. I'm not saying today the things that they do intermittently. So just continuous. They are there routine basis, regularly, every day. So you can see what is going on. If you look up on YouTube or Google it out, or if you have a physics background, it is not hard to see that these things can be done. Um, Today I'm talking about targeted human torture that is going on internationally. Looks like it has started with certain race, and they are covertly doing it, hurting few selected individuals, physically as well as emotionally. Their life is endangered.
physically, and as well as their well-being or their social stand has been um, violated or tortured by these groups, they act covertly, and this gang seems to be highly organized, internationally spread, um, and they have kind of similar to World War II weaponry. Only, these weapons are now made portable. Um, they use the satellite and the cell phones, and then hit hired perps, and they follow people internationally from nation to nation. So there's a bigger agenda behind it. There are a lot of benefits out of it, and they wanted to keep it that way so that they don't have to work or they don't have to do anything. That sort of underground business that these folks, as these gangs are carrying, this needs to be stopped. This should not have come this far. Sometimes the people call this as a conspiracy, and that whoever says it's a conspiracy, I guess they get eliminated or suppressed, or bad things happen to them, things of that nature. So here I'm trying to enlist a number of things that happen to me on a daily basis. Again, I am in Bokak, India. I have returned from US, though I am a US citizen. So here are some things I'm saying. So this is targeted invisible killing. This could be called e-death, cyber death. So basically, person is targeted. They are given all kinds of bio or chemical or radiational harms to them in one way or the other, 24 by 7, using satellites or the perpetrators, local hit hires, or these biological implants. So this happens to me 24 by 7. So this is invisible energy. These are like, say, in the spectrum, light spectrum. These are like infrared, ultrasound, ultraviolet, laser, microwaves, radio waves, electromagnetic field, x-rays, etc. These are all the things that I feel. So number one, at least two local hit hired perps that I met before. I know these folks. I can see them. I can videograph them. We can take a picture of them. But then the our agency is not big enough as to go after them and catch them and all. And, at least at this point of time. So I see them, and if I do anything odd, like quickly go out somewhere, in a different direction than usual, well, they pop out. So here you go. And they can be spotted by other people as well. I mean, they are in public. So, and I can figure out where they are located based on the offense that I'm getting from. Say, for example, laser, that can tell me which angle the perp is, because they put stuff to my nose and my eyes and stuff like that, or my feet. What side of a feet is hit? What side of a leg is hit? What side of these bones are being kind of corroded feeling, or so I can figure that out. So at least two local retired perps located strategically to my residence that follow me 24 by 7, continuing the assaults to my body, keeping the intended injuries continuous. This is compounded with the satellite level of a targeting, for example, EMF flow from ground circuiting my body from one leg through the body to the other leg, even when I am traveling on a bike. So that seems to be like a satellite directed. Number two, vibrations of energy in my left arm. So that spans from humerus bone to the shoulder joint, that is designed to confuse the pacemaker function, to damage the heart in a long run. So this is like a slow fashion every day. Um, and this seems to be perps doing, not necessarily the satellite doing, because occasionally if I go to a place where they didn't really, kind of, they took a few minutes to figure me out where I am located. So that time it's not there. So that tells me that it's not a satellite one. And number two, induce ringing noise in the left back quadrant of the brain. So if I am thinking something exciting or plan something new, it gets louder. So this is like ongoing offense. There's some people call this as a like a synthetic telepathy, or voice to skull. But I they probably are reading me, but I don't get anybody telling me things. So yeah, that's off. So number three, at night, what all things happen to me. At night, there's an induced extra gravity beneath me, beneath my entire body, and then it is especially focused to the my hip girdle bone level. So this extra gravity pulls even bones. They put down. So there is an extra gravity there. It's hard. It makes me like hard to get up, centered more at specific parts of the body, in my case hip girdle bones or neck, the back of the neck. And so in the nights I am put unconscious, because when I'm if I'm conscious, I will not tolerate some of their burnings, radiations. I cannot take them, my body burns and all that. So then I try to get up and try to cover that with with the metal, or one thing or the other. So they have moved on to put me unconscious the very second that I lay down on my ground, to sleep, and then until like morning 4 a.m., 5 a.m., depending. So they continue to do these harms to my body. Occasionally I have to get up in the middle of the night because of this, restroom breaks. So then they have to wake me up. They relieve me from unconsciousness. So that time, if I get up, immediately I can feel what part of my body is burning, itching, or stink, or what part of body they have done something. So I could somewhat figure it out. So an immediate scratch at the thighs can break into a very red, thick blood, thickened way. So I can show the pictures of those. So I have those things ongoing. um and I take these to the doctors and show them, though they cannot say who made them, da, 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 but at least they can witness these injuries. So, and then third two, at night there's an induced electromagnetic field. This gives sort of a contracting to the body, like body gets into shock, muscle gets contracted, sometimes bone, your whole body curls down. And these days they have started it to my brain, like just top of my brain is like almost I'm going to pass out. Is that sort of thing that they are pulling. There is a pull also with this electromagnetic field. This gives sort of contracting to the body, to the field, of the body to the field, shock kind of a feeling, dry scalp. Oiling helps to block it. The hair gets thin and brittle in just a matter of 2 3 hours. That dryness to the scalp is like very instant. Like you can feel it. It is done just 2 3 hours away. It was not there as of while I was going to bed, and then I see it. So it's that sort of thing. Number three, at night, induced unconsciousness. It's done when I get ready to sleep, laying down on bed or ground. The purpose is, this blocks my effort of moving my body from the target beam or assaults, and it disturbs their intended constant exposure. And third, fourth is at night, pigmentation on my arms, hands, soles, sprayed especially at night. The pigmentation can be poisonous item that doesn't wash away by soaps or any kind of a green powder, water. It is slightly soluble with acetone, nail polish remover. I suppose it is heavily soluble with kerosene, but then we cannot get kerosene that easily these days. So they may have been manipulating it to be scarcer, I suppose, because of this purpose. And the next thing is that if my knees are up or something, then my genital gets the bio or chemical or radiational blow to inside of private parts to bring in the probably the cancer or death. And then of course there's induced orgasm while while I am asleep. At night, the energy can kick my comforter off, They have some kind of a blow technique that it doesn't come from their end to here, but it just swirls up right here in my own room. This side of this blow, gentle blow, but if you hold it, it's not really a blow. So I think it's an energy push that comes from the energy, but per se there's no breeze, though I feel like it's a breeze. So this, even though I'm holding my comforter with my head underneath my head, they can push, in a matter of few seconds to minute, they will take anything off my body. They can take out the gloves, they can take out some of my clothes, they can push my clothes up so that they can get to, a private purse, that kind of all sorts of nasty things this gang is up to. um, there is energy spray to the private part, and that burns to dark. So basically, around our private part, they have made our skin very dark. So rascals. And the biological blow to the inside of the private party, which could be carcinogenic, that makes more fluid all around and stickiness, etc. So suppose, like, if I'm unconscious and then I get up, so then I can see this witness, that they have obviously targeted that part. So exposure to even a minute by their, with their spray or whatever they're exposing me to, so my body gets that kind of a reaction. Um, so to stop their blow, I try to put like a plastic or maybe, like, cotton clothes. They don't cover it up. So plastic can do, but then if you are moving around, plastic will not cover you completely. So as a result, I am unable to stop this kind of this killing, mass killing by these people, covert killing by these people for some gain of them. So the next is at hand. At night, my hand will be targeted and swollen at certain areas. It's not like a complete hand edema, because you don't see the edema everywhere. It is certain places where they have this energy exposure. The point of energy can be visibly seen through which they deposit the energy or chemical. Needle point marks of energy pass are many, sometimes with the bleed, sometimes no bleed, quite often no bleed. And then the arm, arms, the bones like radius and ulna, that side of energy deposit makes the hand muscle stand out and firm for next few hours, which subsides after half day to a full day. Visible part of feet are also similarly attacked at certain spots. The sole, if it is exposed in the night, like if it is up, your nerves will be burnt. Your edges of the feet are like a bitten, like, little energy bitten, so skin comes out. It's not soft and smooth anymore. And because of their energy blow, it's dry because they kind of put me in an oven. Sometimes, the microwaving or all kinds of stuff is so much that my inner clothes can be wet, like, my bra can be wet like half from bottom to up. So that tells me that they are really, really making me sweat. So when the sole is, nerve burned and like edematous or bones are edematous, then I'm unable to walk immediately, of course. um Say the high speed ceiling fan, I would put it on to see if it helps, but it will not distract or remove any energy. So if you can imagine, the light is energy, and any fan breeze, even if no matter how high you put, it will not move the light will be everywhere. So it's that kind of energy that they use. So I use the plain metal bed. That will also not block the extra energy nor the electromagnetic field. So on top of that metal, if I use a newspaper bundle or plastics, cottons and a lot of stuff, they don't block these either. So obviously, electromagnetic field comes from Earth. Any Earth matter still lets it pass through. So we have this notion that in front of the light, if you put a wood, it will block the light. So that is not so with the electromagnetic field. It comes through, it comes around. So next, the pain beams. So I don't know what they're made of, but the pain beams, they kind of hold it like a parallel level. There are some pointy ones, there are some parallel ones, and these are most of these are done by the perpetrators, because based on how I sit, where I sit, who I am with, a lot of things matter, but they keep poking, hurting, so that I'm not comfortable in what I'm doing, so that the next person that is with me should discredit me. That's sort of a violation these people do. So these could be X-ray, laser, EMF, radio frequency, etc. So sometimes they're bone, they're aimed at bones, and sometimes these energy passes on the bones. You can see them like they are done like a bone marrow procedure. So it's that sort of thing. And it also they also target them to the back discs while I'm curving for daily activities. If I curve this way, that way, and those gels hurt much more. If I'm straight standing up, they don't hurt that much. Doesn't matter if I am at home or on toilet, sitting inside the store, standing out in the market, or traveling in a bus, or I'm in a plane, walking down the street. So these pain beams, they follow me, they keep offending me.
The pain beams. So I talked about the pain beams. So the radiational or chemical beams to palms and soles whenever they're exposed to air. If you sit down, they're exposed to air. If you put your feet on top of each other, then they're exposed to air. So they're basically hunting me that I cannot sit down, I cannot rest. That sort of thing. Um, um, when they're touching the ground, then they do something different. So I do not feel this breeze as an air breeze, but yet I feel like it's a breeze of the energy. And the effect of such energy that they pass me is the hardened palm and sole, swelling and numbness, and painful to stand up after, even like a 30 seconds of exposure. Unable to curl the feet when I try to stand up. They do long-term damages as well. Damage my nerves. They particularly target some of my veins to dilate, and so the blood puddle gets in there like a bluish that you can see through. So it used to subside with few steps, when I walk, in the beginning, but now it is staying continuous, and I'm not able to walk as much, and the feet swelling is, getting to stay a little bit more hours than what it used to be. And also, like when this earlier, if it used to happen, if I go expose my feet to water, that whole thing chemical gets used to wash away, and I could immediately walk as whatever they did would have washed away. uh, Eventually the swelling and bone hardening, etc., are not recovering that quick anymore these days. If sat exposing the soles to this action for a long time, like just a few minutes more, like a minute or two more, then the nerve sleep will soon occur. If prolonged, more like 5 minutes, it will result in like swelling. So that's a kind of effect is going on. Often they are doing what is called local freeze of the blood flow. So they somehow, our blood keeps flowing, and then at certain point of time, if we sat in a way where we block the blood flow, nerve doesn't get the oxygen from the blood, then we feel like the feet are sleeping. But in this case, they only target certain like shin bone of my knee, something, and very local. It This is not the sleep that you get usual. So this is like they can select any part of the body, and they can stop the flow of the blood, and obviously the oxygen will be less. And these are the things that they are doing. So number six, radiational and then chemical beam to the back of my neck when I'm sleeping or daytime.
they continuously expose. When they expose this one, immediately the muscles and the skin and the nerves, they immediately go shy and they shrink, they contract. That when wherever those muscles are supplying to, that part of the body will be hard, and those are the kind of damages that these people are affecting. um, so this kind of thing, it affects the head and shoulder muscles heavily, and this effect is cumulative. Number 7, radiational chemical beam to the inner center right sole, only one leg there selecting, and then only the inner side, wherever the like you who that you have when you stand up, that place they are, they gun at me, the follower, the perpetrator. He follows me if I'm going to this different place, that they keeps exposing me. So to the center of the soul, the gunning, intermittently, that stretches the vein, enlarged vein with the blue color puddle that can be seen visibly. Pain is very sharp. Probably there is a certain nerve that they probably are burning, that debilitates my proper getting up from the ground, or the curving the feet. Also, a box sticky tape. If I apply that to the area where they are gunning me with this thing, then that will block their effect. But then you cannot put the sticky tape for a long time. It's not good for the skin and da da da. So then they get the chance. When I'm sleeping, they get the chance. So also the thing with this energy thing is that if I have a one sheet of a cover to protect it, what they do is then they beef up the potential so that my whatever the covering that I'm doing is not going to be enough anymore. So this is how cruel these people are, and they are hunting us like we are the animals. Well, go figure, right? Yeah. So when a box sticky tape, when stuck, it blocks their beaming, and I can feel them expanding their reach to the surrounding area. So number 8, radiational chemical breeze to the palms, even when the palm is swinging to the action of my walking in the public, of me walking in the public. I suppose the gunning, by these perps, must be done by this stacking perp. This breeze, the breeze can be felt if paid close attention to it. Drying of the pain can be felt immediately. I mean, sorry, palm. The palm, immediately it gets dry. The skin over there gets dry. That when you close your arm, it's like it's really not bending, like your palm. And number 9, pin level needling to the feet and the hands, using the energy that has to be blocked by removing my body part and scratched. So when they kind of shoot these pin level needling kind of energy or whatever chemical into my body parts, then I have to literally move away from there or scratch the area. This kind of a stuff they do. And this scratching is not like a mosquito bite scratching. This like a several layers of skin, it takes several layers of muscle, it takes um you know that sort of thing. Pain lasts for at least 10 minutes because you keep on scratching. Sometimes the burning or the bump or the macule or the pimple will be raised. Local redness of inflammation will be there, and often no such effect. Meaning, I get burnt and I scratch, and not much that I can show to people. People who believe this kind of stuff, if they see, yeah, they can see it. But to the doctor, if I go show it, he's like, nah, that's usual, nothing new. That's how he goes, of course. And then sometimes there are big needle kind of a needling effect where the entire layer of the skin plus the muscles touching to the bone all have to be scratched, probably like about 2-3 inches of the area, whole entire square area that I have to scratch. Number 10, my actions are watched for every second. So obviously the perp is watching, the satellites are watching, the people who are sitting out somewhere in the global strategically sitting there, they have a supervisor, they have a plans, they have these torture things spelled out for these people to carry on. There is money transfer from one place to another, and there's a line of a linkage between the people to keep it hushed up. Okay, these are all things that happen. Um, so my emails are hacked, my phone calls are tracked. Sometimes I get these blank calls, quite often actually, and these company calls just too many. There is something that they keep on disturbing us. So now I have taken them out by calling my phone service carrier. And also the receivers of my phone calls or my correspondence, they are manipulated. The outcomes are like adversely manipulated. The relations, the business are all destroyed. For example, recently I approached a store for certain help repeatedly, and his business in its entirety has stopped and was not able to make sustainable money even to pay the rent. This is how these people are very hidden. They dress as a normal people, and they go around and they are making this, and they are spread all entire world. My goodness, how dangerous the place is by these people. So obviously this should not have come this far. This It has come this far because regular folks are not believing what we are saying, what we are going through. Some of their own people might be going through, but they have not seen or recognize that it's being done by somebody. So these people, these torturers are going around and they are going rampant. So we can stop this. We just need to get some detectors to start with. Whenever there's a detector and show, then we have to then go with the small, I mean, this can be handled not as a personal at a personal level, but at a government level, yeah, this can be stopped, and these people actually need to be stopping immediately. But at this rate of my damages every day, I don't think I will go any further. That's for sure. So I have understood that by now. Some people, they use this telepathy also. And this whole operation can be called like an underground conspiracy, and targeting the society's individual on their growth and dignity and health, affecting their growth and dignity health. So this is terribly bad of a situation in this kind of age of information. People are using it in the wrong way, and World War II weaponry is there, and there are these people, they have come out from handling the wars or something. They are paid to do all these kind of things. Okay, the question, if the question is asked how this is done, okay, my answer to the ones who say, hey, it's not possible, with that kind of a view and closed-eyed inadequates, I call them inadequates, forgive me. My answer to them is take a hike from this crime, go about your life. That's all I'm gonna say. To the ones with the not possible view, but with some educational background, I would say you have some level of exposure to physics and cosmic, but not a war level of a physics. So there is a gap of what we have and what we have learned in different countries versus what's out there. So it's deliberately hidden in the name of making these weapons, all kinds of these crappy international issues and national agendas and that kind of stuff. So for those some people, you don't have enough exposure, so I would say go dig in, go with the Google or YouTube or something. So third, to the ones with the possible but how, those kind of curious people, but and then they have plenty of educational background, I would say look up YouTube or Google, search on existing weapons. We have there are like tens and hundreds of websites where this information can be given and you can put it together. How real it is. There are like CNN videos, and because this has been going on ever since World War II. That Holocaust happened, right, against certain people. Yeah, this is all done and all that. So these people already have gone through enough. They already had a web, so it's not something new for them to feel any disgrace. So they are very up and rampant and going about it. um, so so give me a chance, then I'll show you. I can have a test cases and I'll show you the effects and mechanisms. So since these crimes mimic the regular wear and tear, so people have a hard time to believe, and doctors are not ready to put that as, oh yeah, this is of this category. But if you really pay attention and see how we are affected and why they are doing, how they are doing, what is the purpose, if you see all the grand scheme, yeah, you would see. So, and also find out similar complaints by global targeted individuals. Invest and learn and support human rights. Okay, fourth. Number to the ones with, well, I do not buy it. I have educational background, that kind of stuff. I would say an example like a doctor of podiatry, meaning a podiatrician, cannot handle heart surgery or heart specialty. So these are war level for crimes, and regular doctors and all that, they won't be able to handle. They are not prepared. They cannot. They are not equipped to handle this one. So is the police around us? I mean, in our nations. That's my answer. To all readers, so I would say do not respect certain group, of folks just by the looks, race, or religion. Look into the history, watch each nation's moves, culture, follow current affairs, and see how the global currencies are being manipulated or speculated. See how numerous rupees or labors need to be engaged to get other currency or labor. So compare and get wise. Unite against the inhumane covert deceits. Poor country is million times richer than the rich covert human slaughtering countries. This is what I want to say. So there are kind of highlights that I could do. These are the things that daily I go through. I have pictures that I could show you of all these assaults and stuff like that, but I will probably make them available at another time, or if you guys contact me, I will give them. Thank you very much.